to injury. So I think in terms of preparation, the energy has to be well maintained and well reserved, because they're on a late start tonight, and it's going to have to be a very, very impressive showing of Call of Duty, where one team might just be more ready than the other on the overall physical side, and it really is that simple.
Well, we're going to see how this kicks off. Map 1, Protocol Hardpoint. Look, I think that we've seen a lot of teams today and in the past be pretty good at holding this P1, but that P2 and then to the P3, P4 chain is crucial. So it'll be interesting to see where the map pressure is from both of these teams. The ARs need to be shooting. They need to be going strong. We're going to see it here. TAMIU Dustdevils versus NWOSU Esports. Let's get it on.
And this is really where you get interesting as well. Texas A&M International University, Northwestern Oklahoma State University in the Western Conference to close out today's matches, and it's already a clean break off from Oklahoma State. They've pressured the hill well. They're looking to absorb time from this setup as well. But again, a crucial 1v1 inside of ammo is really going to define who has structure and holding the hill. Dustdevils have got a bit more pressure applied. The split feed means that they have the last man up towards the point, but more pressure from Northwestern Oklahoma is going to be outside.
I mean, look at Stewie. 5 streak for him, just holding this outer edge, making sure that no players can get through, cutting down all the angles. 6 streak, 7 almost for Stewie. Hellstorm could be online here shortly, and what a start so far from NWOSU. So much pressure towards this middle of the map with the AR. Spawns have flipped. I don't think they realized, because you see Stewie now, he's turned finally. But a bit of a blunder. A lot of time on P1. Got P2 spawns close. Got to take care of these players first, and aggro will help.
I mean, Stewie is really mincing up the map right now in this current moment in time. Not really opting to play high with the AR, but rather support the team with the push. And look at, wow, look at the way it's treating him so far. 8 straight kills, Hellstorm confirmed, and this is just really impressive so far, and what the Rangers need.
Wow, they are cooking. I mean, at least that P2 conversion was pretty good from the side of Dustdevils. They come on in, they're able to get the break, and they're able to hold it fairly consistently. Stewie, as much as he was doing damage, didn't get the Hellstorm, so all for naught. Time is going to be even up here as we go over towards P3. A little bit of a lead towards Dustdevils, but they need to take the time to set up. You've got aggro in the backline here. You've got a few players from Dustdevils as well, trying to rat out these few players towards New. He'll drop. That'll be spawns as well going towards NWOSU or the Rangers, and they'll be looking good for this P3 conversion as well.
They look really, really strong so far, but this hill really does test your might in quite the fashion. The submachine gun players need to slap themselves in there and hold the angles, as well as re-clearing again both exits and chokeholds. This is really where you start to see the pressure being applied from the outside. Dustdevils, though, got a good chance opportunity here to lock spawns in or even a trap, but Lotus's kills in the back here can only really be supplemented by the players that come alongside him. Blimpy's the next up on the line. A 14-point margin between two teams, and 30 seconds go to where the Rangers is not ideal, and there's still just player on the outside here, not really attacking the objective.
Wow, Stewie loves that little corner. It's been paying dividends for him on this P3. We're starting to worry about P4, though. No one really close on the side of the Rangers, and you're giving a bit of scrap time here to Dustdevils. It's a pretty awkward situation, all things considered, given that they had majority of P3 for the side of the Rangers. They just don't have the conversion now into this P4 setup. You see all the arrows here already locked in on you, and they give up that scrap, so you're basically even, and this is a massive money hill. So unless there's a freak break, which might come in here to drop, and you see Artsy getting in on the action, Nate as well. So do clean it up. I mean, I'm going to eat my words here. I thought they weren't going to get the break, but they do, and now it goes to the Rangers.
And Stewie's done quite a little bit here in terms of pacing. Was 8-1, now going 12-5. It's definitely not the pressure, you know, that the Rangers are very much used to now in the next few hills, and that's why we've seen Dustdevils accrue a nice little point clear. But, I mean, in terms of the break here, again, it's just 3 players stacked towards elevators. Nate's holding an iron sight, and the slide's just absolutely gorgeous. They've opened up well here. 20 seconds of scrap time to play, and a player rotating as well in the form of Lotus is where I think we start to see the Dustdevils set up some great strategy, but it's about implementing it and getting the players stacked around this crucial pre-free scrap time and making sure, again, they can secure it.
Yeah, and we're going into P1, the second set of rotations here. All evened up. So very even match so far. Wasn't expecting this kind of gameplay from both teams, but it will go that way. And so far, Stewie continuing his streak and his dominance on this map, but it's nothing compared to the might of the Dustdevils currently getting a forward down and in on the point. They have to set up towards New, and it's not going to be easy.
Oh, Blimpy now is taking his own for the team right here. 1 minute 14 on the clock, a 7 spree. Hellstorm accrued as well, and this is where the Dust Devils really start to find the footing now. They've predicted to perfection what the Rangers' strategy is and where they're going to place their important positions. The AR's pretty much out of action. They understand exactly what Stewie likes to do. Not really a high ground player, likes to float around mid, support a submachine gun, and this is where they can start taking positions in top ammo to really add extra firepower and create a distraction, because at this point now, we're seeing the Rangers in a spot above of trying to hunt one player down and really not overloading the objective here. Look at exactly how they want to rotate this one. I mean, listen, the Rangers right now in this position, they're going to have rotation for New.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rangers just too focused on that P1 time. I guess trying to break, stop the scrap, whatever have you. But P2 wasn't the focus. Doesn't matter, though. Their breaks are immaculate. We've seen it time and time again. Nate with a 3-piece to open things up with help with Stewie. So they get on in pretty fairly easily. And, I mean, Dust Devils still with those spawns in the back, but it's going to be very awkward now as you kind of get into this trap. You've got Artsy towards the mid. You've got Stewie overwatching with that AR, as well as the time just soaking away. And this could be the lead change once again. The graph after this match would be crazy. I'd be very interested to see, because I swear we've had about 4 lead changes at this point. So going into it, you've got a good hold, and you've got to reset for New if you're Dust Devils.
It's looking like a perfect helix right now. You know, very much like DNA is the way we're going to set the line graph at the end of the series. Scrap time then will go, of course, to the Rangers, and Dust Devils are trying to break into an opportunity here. A perfect rotation coordinated by Nate and Artsy forces spawns now, and the Rangers have got a lovely setup here inside of P3. They've put a trophy down as well to block any utility, but again, the rats are around the back and the one player lurking. Artsy's got all the pressure now on his back. He has to catch the players in the push and where the pressure might be facing now for the Rangers.
One spawns in the back or routes in the back. I'm not sure. I think it was a spawn, but actually Artsy picks it up. Massive 2-piece out of him. Stewie getting one with the trophy, but regardless, that's a 3 down and a late 4, so they'll be sent back to the spawn, and Artsy continuing as well with this sub 9 streak for him. I believe that might, no, I think that's right, but I don't know how he doesn't have he doesn't have the Hellstorm on. I was about to say, how does he not have a Hellstorm? But a 9 streak for Artsy, who finally get taken down, but so much damage already being done. A massive kill out of the side of the Rangers, and they'll be setting themselves up nicely for this P4 conversion. And no one really close from the Dust Devils as they try and get down towards Radio.
Underscore left in for scrap time. Listen, this is where you start to really see the lead slip away now. I think Rangers are really prioritizing the correct hills, and given this chain, it's going to be a heavy 50-50 to actually win it. The players are really collapsing in fast on the point. No real fight for a close spawn. It really is just a case of pulling out a submachine gun, getting in there as fast as possible. And now it's got to 2:14, 20 seconds go in the way of Rangers, and we're entering the end game here. Almost a perfect hold. Expect another hard point if one last break attempt fails for the Dust Devils.
I gotta say, it was a close game for the majority of this map, and then in that last point, it just really took off, and you can see they win off this, with the Rangers looking to shut everything down. Artsy gonna be a big part of that. 4 streak 5 with the ego chow, disgusting out of Artsy, and now you see the final embers of this map come to a close as Dust Devils struggle to get anyone in. The pistol doing the job, 6 streak as well. Artsy ending it out on a bang. A small contest might delay the inevitable, and as he still fries out, I don't know if that was a body shot, but yeah, crazy stuff out of the Rangers. They close out this map with a bang. Artsy on the sub. And a very dominant performance. Was so close, Connie, up until that P3, and they took off.
Absolutely, there's no real denying just how much the Rangers performed in the second half of this map. It was a close affair, and we're not going to lie, when it came to the first 5 hills, and of course understanding where the footing was. Stewie started off really impressive, and then really Blimpy was the player for the Dust Devils that did pick up a lot of the slack and did actually carry them through a really deep and dark trench. I think in terms of the end though, and where the line graph might sit, we are going to see again just exactly what happened in in the final few hills. It was 40 seconds on average accrued by the Rangers to create this wonderful lead, and there really was an opportunity again for the fundamentals to be laid out. Utility usage again was a bit more exaggerated from the Dustdevils, but in terms of placing it, they were trying to more or less get the kills rather than take the space, and players running in one at a time, which again is a big no-no. You don't want to see that in Hardpoint, especially in the opener here for the CCL. We already had a game happen here in the Western Conference, but I think right now, understanding where Dustdevils and the Rangers are in the opening fixture, again, we are really impressed with the Rangers and their Hardpoint. I'm pretty sure, again, though, in terms of how they're splitting things up here, Stewie over an AR, very unique play style. Doesn't like to stay static and high. It likes to be more flexible, likes to be really fast, and I can definitely see him as well at certain points, pulling out a submachine gun, if you were to say. He's got the speed that really could accommodate a lot of play styles, and flexibility is so key here in this division.
Yeah, and seeing Stewie as well in the past, right? I think he prefers the AR, but can definitely do it all if needed. The aggression with the AR is something that can be pretty highly valuable, right? I think it's pretty easy to just go, okay, my job as an AR is to hold down this lane, play this position, lock down this angle. But a lot of the times you can be flexible. We saw Stewie getting up and aggressive towards the broken side of mid and was just frying. He was just laying down that cover fire, getting the long angles, making sure no one could cross. And in a sense was doing the same thing, just a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more fluid. So it's interesting to see. It's a little bit more fresh, considering that we see a lot of ARs being a little bit more passive. But yeah, great first map, I got to say. And going into a map 2 is going to be Skyline, so that'll be interesting. I don't know if we have the graph up, but I would like to see it if
we
possible.
actually do not have one. We
don't have one. Okay, sorry.
The one time we
the whole chat. Yes.
The one time we'd love to see, you know, the lead chop and change. And I don't think it's actually got, you know, enough data points to fit it on there. It was just an exaggerated finish. God bless.
Yeah, all good, all good. You know what? I'm baiting the chat. It is what it is. But going into a Skyline map 2, we'll focus on that because that's interesting for a Search and Destroy for these two teams. I mean, we saw no one's really like over aggressive, but the passive playstyle might suit them here on Skyline. It'll be an interesting matchup. I think it'll be a bit more calculated than what we've seen maybe in the past from the matchups we've seen on Skyline, especially Search. So I'll be interested to see if there's a bit more aggression coming out from maybe the Rangers, or it's going to be that passive playstyle and approach that we kind of come to expect from these teams.
I feel like Skyline's a really tricky map because there's loads of ways to exploit certain areas because of its wonderful geography, but at the same time, again, I feel like if you do the basics well, then I feel like you can win quite comfortably. I feel like it's got lots of intended lines of sight, it's got lots of indications, again, of even playing low of an AR, you can still be wildly successful in covering your team for 2 to 3 lanes at a time, given the adjustments and how fast your stick is, of course. I must say, in terms of what we really want to see in terms of like the set pieces, you know, the nades, utility, again, throwing them in kitchen, you're almost guaranteeing free space to be taken. But I really think with the submachine gun players running across this long hallway you see right here, dropping down into pool and piano, it creates an awkward timing most of the situations that we do see. And I think, especially the sub players, again, this is really where their importance starts to shine the brightest.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with these other players, but I definitely know Stewie is capable of some good S&D gameplay, so my eyes on him for now. We're going to get on board with Artsy. Map 2 underway, Skyline. Let's see how it kicks off. Already some damage coming from Artsy, some early aggression. Bomb trying to go towards this A site as per usual, as the Rangers try and defend.
A massive reposition as well. No players dropping from Dustdevils, and they feel like very lucky with the situation. Still control of kitchen, a few shoulders to boot, not the weaponry to actually match Stewie at this range. And he can cause support here as well. But the two players, again, of key interest, Artsy and Aggro. 2 submachine gun players flirting around the high-low ground. The shoulder is not going to accrue for this first blood. Stewie's drawn, and it's right on kitchen as well. A player takes his space in ISO, but another one drops. And this is now where you start to really get the numbers. The final point here. 1v3 situation. Lotus running through vents. Feels like the final option, Remy.
I mean, Stewie's on for the ace. 3K for him. We missed it all, but maybe we'll see if Lotus can get anything done here. A monster round. I literally just said it. Words came out of my mouth. Stewie, great on the S&D. And we're seeing it here yet again against the Dustdevils. Lotus with 15 seconds left. Bomb in an awkward position. No information to go off of. I think it's a bit of a wrap in this round. And Stewie as well. Wow, to get the ace with that kind of kill against a sub. Woo! Stewie is shooting.
Really, really impressive. An ace. An 8-kill streak in the opening minute of the Hardpoint, and an ace in the opening minute of the S&D. Very consistent on the opening rounds here, Stewie, and I love to see just the level of commitment he has thus far. Opening round, though, the Rangers, an astonishing start. Already, again, clear to see what their S&D is oriented around. It is the First Bloods, but again, it's taking space, and again, knowing where they have to keep positions and move around the map on what areas. Now we go to attacking side for them. Beautiful shot. Stewie lands the head, and look at where the bomb's floated directly towards
missiles out of
B.
this thing, man.
They're running into him at the worst possible time. Bomb is dropped in mid. Aggro cleans up from Hot Tub. Lotus is isolated, but in a 1v2, repositions to just the right area to give away no information on his location.
6 streak for Stewie. Already has the RC. Hellstorm could be here shortly as well. Bomb going down will help with that streak as well. Lotus in a 1 versus 2. Definitely doable. Not quite sure if it's going to come through. I mean, Stewie, he just has eyes in the back of his head. He's playing every angle, shooting every gunfight to perfection. 7 streak, for Stewie. 2 rounds in as well. Almost a double ace, which would have been absolutely unheard of. But still, I mean, the Rangers coming to play right now.
769 damage in 2 rounds, and Stan, correct me if wrong, didn't Scrappy get 714 in respawn in the CDL? Just to double check.
I honestly don't know the stat.
Regardless, I think Stewie now is on par for it, and it's been 2 rounds out of potential 11. Insane numbers. Sticks to his position as well, but a very break off here from Dustdevils, and I love the idea. All committing through vents, but Nate's there with the AR. The pressure's way too much. You can't hold the line of sight. A 4v3. Make the numbers go down. Hang on a second. Stewie and Artsy mop up the final 2 pieces to leave ISO all alone.
I mean, that's the name of the game. Isolation. ISO. He's calling for it. Will he ball or will he fall? Coming in. And I think there was only one outcome there, considering how Rangers are playing. He did indeed fall. So, I mean, look, 3-0. We've seen a dominant Hardpoint. The mental just looking a little bit checked right now. Or maybe they just don't have an answer to what Rangers' game plan is or how Stewie's playing. I don't know. Something's not clicking here, and Stewie's a big factor of that. And, I mean, look, maybe it's a bit of glazing, but this guy's unreal right now on this search. 8 streak for him. I believe it's a Hellstorm and an RC 3 rounds in. It's going to be a bit of a tough series right now for Dustdevils.
Yeah, definitely the X factor for the Rangers in the future CCL season. Already one to watch. Keep your notebooks open in terms of scouting future potential stars. I must say, though, creative break-off we saw from the last round for Dustdevils. This time it's a bit more orientated. They draw themselves a lovely first blood. Aggro here in a position of power, can watch over the cross, has to deal with players, but also hold on to his life and not give any info away. Nate's wrap is really clean here. Oh, it's so good. Timed perfection. 2 players eliminated from Dustdevils. Have to re-get position in balcony. Bimpy is left all alone in a really tough spot. But the cleanup in fashion is just not good enough. The Rangers secure a lovely 4th round, and I must say it's a very tough spot right now for where we can see potentially the Dustdevils inject themselves in this series. They tried one really exciting break-off in the previous round. Didn't quite go so well in the end because the X's are covered here on the B-bomb, but I just think right now there's a massive question of confidence and where the heads are at. It's just not a very fair game when you look at what the outcome should be from their set strategy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if it's nerves, if it's, you know, maybe it's just a hot streak from Rangers, but yeah, it's unbelievable right now. Stewie's still yet to drop. 9 streak for him, continues adding to that number, and Aggro now trying to drop down vent, maybe get a play going. And Stewie as well has been in so many awkward engagements with this AR where a sub should really be winning it, but still, he comes out on top every time. And Artsy, the first to draw blood, or at least trade it out, I should say, in a 3 versus 3. Dustdevils with the bomb, still yet to get it down.
Okay, now's the time for Underscore to make a big move here. This is a very interesting post-plant setup here. 1 in kitchen, 1 in bedroom, watching a cross, and Artsy might have timed this really well. Doesn't win the gunfight. Okay. Dustdevils got a man advantage. An awkward line here as well. Technically, it is, in fact, just 2 players on bombs. Doesn't find any kill of the Hellstorm. Oh, and in that moment as well, Stewie's left in a 1v3 situation. All players are isolated in different areas. And it's just a waste of a streak and an opportunity just down the drain for the Rangers. Dustdevils again on the 3v2. A beautiful kill in bedroom to find the man advantage. And they just really opened up a large opportunity and didn't take any risky gambles to close out the round.
I mean, Stewie bleeds. He is mortal. That is one thing that is on Dustdevil's side right now. At least they have a round on the cards. They need to do a lot more work to get themselves back in this search. And we're going to need to see some big changes. But at least that was a solid round. They get the bomb down. They play the post plan. It's exactly what you need to do. COD fundamentals. Don't stray, and you should be all right. So we'll see how this goes for the attack of Rangers. Artsy getting in up close and aggressive. Same round that Nate made. And the subs go bang. 2 drop. And now you're in a 2 versus 4 for Dustdevils. And again, they're clueless to just the onslaught that Rangers are putting forth. Another kill for Nate as well. Wow. What is going on right now, man? Like, it was so even in the start of that hard point. And now you're seeing Nate just work on him in the middle of this piano room. I mean, it's disgusting. I don't know what to say, man. I'm lost for words.
He has done such a good job just to allow his team to do well in that round as a whole. Look at the macro portion of that round, Remy. When the opening bloods were there, he didn't decide again to aggress to a point where he was going to lose his life or trade out. He just allowed them to make the rough decisions. Again, when you're in a 1vx situation, you feel like you need to equalize the trade straight away. He just played defensive and won beautiful gunfights. Now the bomb in this time for the attacking side for Dustdevils. Floated towards kitchen. A player, again, has actually cut through lobby, but again, the positioning just isn't there. They overextend, have their back turned, and that's where we start to see the claw close down. This beautiful formation to really circle in the Dustdevils. And it's just one player left. Lotus left all alone. A 1v3 bomb not in hand as well. Completely covered by Rangers players.
Yeah, best of luck to Lotus, but I don't think he's going to do much. 1 versus 3, and bomb in an awkward situation, as you said. Has a bit of info here. Does get 1 kill onto aggro. Can reroute, so he's isolated 1v1. 2 more to go, though, with 40 seconds on the clock. It is not going to be an easy task, let me tell you. And he's still trying to find this place, Connie.
He's taking his sweet time, and he has got a little bit of time here, but now you look towards NWOSU with how they're going to adjust to this again. One player's holding a static line, now they're pairing up together, and now they're splitting apart. They just want to try and isolate this kill. Maybe it could be a really bad timing. All they need to do now is just check bombs as a unit. Lotus has to stick this one. The timing is just not there for him. They clear kitchen on the re-clear. NWOSU Esports, or should we say the Rangers, 6-1 in the S&D on top of their emphatic hardpoint performance. 2-0 thus far in the series, and really looking like one of the top contenders.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff out of the Rangers, I must say. Dustdevils, honestly, like, I don't even know if they're playing bad. I think it's just Rangers just playing out of their mind right now. Like, I don't see some crazy, like, misplays from Dustdevils. I like what they're trying. I mean, the 4-hit down vent, the post plants, like, they were playing pretty decent S&D, and it's just unfortunate that, Rangers were just shooting. I mean, you see every single round ended by elims one way or the other. So, yeah, crazy stuff. 6-1 for Rangers. Close hardpoint, and then they just took off in the end of the hardpoint, and now the Search and Destroy. We're going to go to a Vault Control after this as well, which is just... I don't know. I don't really feel too good about Dustdevils going into that map, considering what we just saw on a closer range map. And we see that Artsy can get online, Nate can get online with that sub. If Stewie's allowed to just sit on and hold those line of sights, it's impossible to deal with this team.
I feel like we really missed out a little bit on the S&D. I mean, it was, of course, all eliminations to close out every single round. But I would love to have seen just how the Dustdevils and the Rangers were dealing in 1v1 situations, in post plants as well, and what their attitudes are, again, to every sort of situation that can crop up in S&D. Not just to get on first bloods, but again, how are they dealing with really high intelligence situations that require absolute focus and, again, critical decision making in a short period of time. The heads up plays are key, but it just felt like they were running into each other at the most convenient time. And, Stewie, again, we talk about his mind for the game and where he sort of places himself on the map. He is finding lots of areas of, where the heat map would be placed and how the players are going to run into him. He's always got his gun up. He is a very disciplined AR. And it just, again, opened up so many opportunities. But again, the one round Dustdevils did get was in a really convincing fashion as well. We're talking about holding bedroom in the right time in a 3v3, a convincing 1v1, and then it just was a really staggered look from the Rangers in the 2v3. Neither team really looked strong in the 1vx situation, so I must say in terms of their systems, they really are going for the first blood, man advantage, the classic duo to really get you a good S&D.
Well, we're going to have to see how they handle this control after a short break. We'll be back with our final series of the day for the CCL regular season, so don't go anywhere as we get this map 3 underway. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. Map 3 control coming up here shortly. If you've just joined us, it's Rangers up 2-0. Very dominant search and destroy, a pretty dominant hardpoint in terms of the score. I did see someone in chat. I'm going to call them out. They said it's like watching Div 1 versus Div 8. I think you're kind of throwing Dustdevils under the bus here a little bit and selling them a bit too short. The start of that hardpoint was extremely close, and all the way up until the halfway point. It was like 139, 139, and then it was just a P3. They got a full 60 time, and then just finished it off on the last point. There wasn't much that they could do. Search and destroy, sure, right? I mean, look, that was like Div 8 versus Div 1. I'll give you that respect. But coming into a Vault control, I wouldn't be so sure that Dustdevils are going to go down without a fight.
Absolutely. In terms of sort of like the picks for the overall series, again, we can just see the vetoes underneath these scorecards for the match ahead. And red card protocol, pretty much, you know, that's not what the Dustdevils want to play. Same as well for the Rangers. In terms of Skyline, we did see an S&D, but they don't want to play the hard point. And red card and Hacienda. So a bit more of a varied split there in terms of what they want to play in their opening group fixture. I mean, it could all be just a massive ruse in a regard, because we do see teams earlier on, again, regarding of seeding and placements. Some teams do like to float in their worst maps just to try and get reps in them, to build it out, thicken it as we get into March and April, the real end game of the regular season, and we enter our conference championships. But again, it's too early to tell. I like planting seeds, Remy. I really do.
Well, as you said, you know, we're going to see how it develops over the season, and you know, it's part of the beauty of having this format. So can't wait. For now, we're going to get stuck into map 3, Vault control between these two wonderful teams. Ravens up 2-0, need this map to win the series. Let's see how they kick things off on control.
Already a very aggressive opening for both teams. More of a spread split here across a line for the Rangers, but as expected, Dustdevils pack together as a unit and take control of mid. This is wonderful grouping. Already 3 players stacked onto the point. A third will go their way.
Min already getting that first tick. Going for the second. ISO now pushing up. A much better showing out of Dustdevils so far off the break. ISO getting one more for himself. Now still trying to get aggressive with the help of Underscore. Some beautiful kills, but just like that, it turns on its head. Not quite getting the A zone. 3 drop in the process, and Rangers somehow find the break.
Beautiful way in which you can find yourself on the other side of the coin. And what are Dustdevils doing to reduce the deficit? Well, there is an idea again for ISO to float towards B, waiting for teammate support again. They want to try and convert A. The life lead is still in their favor. We're still seeing Underscore again, hold the power position. 5 opening, make it 6. A beautiful set of kills.
Wow.
He's on for a hellstorm, but it's cut down early. But what an opening, and what a way to reinvigorate yourself back into a series.
Here we go. Signs of life from Dustdevils. They're making it interesting. They're going in with a bang already on the attack. First zone captured with a nice life lead as well, coming in from the side of Dustdevils. Now trying to approach this B zone. Not going to be easy, but with some beautiful kills, it might go their way. Kill feed turning white, though. Not looking good.
And they're starting to float towards the crucial areas of the map now. A wonderful segment here. 3 players, 3 barrels, guns up for Dustdevils to try and isolate these players from the Rangers. But what I like to see as well is the lurking player in Artsy has such importance here to cut down, where the remaining ARs are getting pressure from the front. We're starting to see the lurker now in ISO. At least try and create some space. Now read the spawns if you're on Rangers. You've got an idea on where they're going to be. You've got to reset the strategy and reset the formation.
Rangers picking up the pieces here, getting themselves together. Now looking pretty solid defending this B zone. Lives evening up here as well. ISO on the outskirts, trying to use this AR to an advantage. Fortunately, not quite going his way as of yet. Stewie now pushed up as well, trying to get these players out of the spawn and potentially set up a nice spawn trap here as Nate gets aggressive.
Now, this is a wonderful line, but look exactly how the lives have really panned out since that wonderful start from the Rangers. I mean, listen, the Dustdevils have done so well. They've got good positioning here on B. They can stack freely, but it's just the one lurker, Artsy, doing all the hard work for his team and opening a beautiful line now to create this formation where they're going to stack around B. They're going to have 2 players in mid and overload everywhere on the map. It's just unfeasible now for Dustdevils to break through.
Yeah, I mean, they gave it a red-hot crack. Lives now dwindling, 12 seconds on the clock. The round looking like it's all but over. They need one big break here. Aggro not making it easy as well with this mid-cross. 6 seconds left. They do get on in from the route. You've got a lot of kills you need to make. Underscore trying his best to get that kill in the top balcony area, but it's just so difficult when you've got so much firepower coming your way. 5 seconds left, 1 life remaining for Lotus, and Dustdevils with a great round, but unfortunately not quite getting the attacking round win, and Rangers really picking it up towards the end of that. I thought that it was going to be good for Dustdevils, but I mean, it goes the way that we kind of expect. Defense win.
An emphatic conversion of the A, though, I must say, in terms of the opening break. They won their gunfights and they positioned themselves well, but the re-break was just as powerful for the Rangers. They actually kind of eluded themselves to location of where, you know, we were going to see the Dustdevils place their guns. I think, really, this is going to be a really crucial round now for the Rangers, and where we start to question, how can the attack be good? Because you say on Vault quite commonly now, teams are starting to understand how to win the attacking sides. VOD available from the pro scrims. We also again see more matches in the CDL where this is now going to be strategies that are adopted by the CCL teams. But on the opening break off again, it's an S&D style attempt here. It's evading all of Dustdevils, and they go for B straight away, but no cars exploded, and full utility can be very compromising.
Good cleanup though. They adapt very quickly and approach that with some methodical calculation. Able to take care of all of the Rangers players. Underscore well aware that that player is going to try and reroute through the vault and takes care of that. So that's a 4 down already. The entire attack stuffed before it starts for Rangers. They get a kill back at least, and the lives starting to even up yet again. But some great defense so far from Dustdevils. They're pretty clued in. They know how to approach this. They know how to adapt. And that is the name of the game when it comes to the control game mode.
And just letting A open up a little bit more here for Rangers. We're seeing again just how the trades are really going toe-for-toe here, and Dustdevils are not letting pressure up in the middle, and they really want to ensure again they have a strong defensive round. Again, at this point now, Dustdevils had A locked off. Rangers have really struggled to try and match that level of pacing and aggression. It was a very audacious break-off there from the start. We rarely see teams go to B from the rip, but again, if you fail that, it sets you up really poorly for the rest of the round. And given now the position here we see from ISO, they're trying to employ a trap early on. It just is not there in terms of the rest of the team. They want to try and keep the mid at least pressured as possible, and that's where we start to see some great Call of Duty coming out from the Dustdevils.
Finally, the first stick in. It's a full stack onto the A zone, so they get some more time here locked in, even on lives as well, to try and approach this B zone attack. And also, I believe same amount of ticks right now as well. So this goes round 5. We might be seeing a very important round here in terms of the tick count. We'll see, though. Lotus as well, pushing up, trying to get this player towards spawn. Maybe a little spawn trap here for Dustdevils if they're successful. So not all said and done right now for the side of Dustdevils or Rangers. Very even now, and a lot of lives dropping for the Rangers.
But the players have made a holding their lives really well for the Rangers. That's the one thing I'm sort of noticing. And we're seeing some slight mistakes here from Dustdevils. We see, of course, ISO being the lurker and the one island player trying to employ the spawn trap. But given his position, I mean, it's actually making the Rangers spawn closer towards B. And look at this beautiful take now. They can start stacking time. It forces ISO out of his position to try and alleviate pressure.
Some big kills back and forth. First tick on B as well. So things kicking off for this squad. Aggro in the back line looking to try and grab this kill as well. So it's getting very dicey now for Dustdevils to re-engage for that response. And you can see the last tick coming through. It might be a 6-tick attack. And that could be the nail in the coffin for Dustdevils. They just had no response to that B swarm. As soon as the wave was down, they couldn't get back in. And it was just so difficult for them to really grab anything in that back half of the defense. And again, Connie, you talked about the seeds being planted. You talked about the potential. You can see Dustdevils. They have that that spark, that little bit that they need, but it's just not flourishing how they would like. And Rangers taking full advantage of that right now. 2-0 up on the defense. Dust Devils would have to get 3 rounds straight here is on top of an attacking round win right here to even stay in the series. It is looking dire. It is not looking good. I'll keep it a stack. We'll see how they respond, but an attack now coming out from Dust Devils.
And some early set nades as well from NWOSU. The Rangers done really well just to make sure that they are trying to get pressure out of middle as fast as possible and create this awkward line. And what I really loved as well from the last round, and it's similar to this one, their trophy placements are astounding. We saw in the final closing moments a trophy popped onto vans, the cars wouldn't explode, and they can retain their lives to get the ticks. It just added so much more sauce to what their core gameplay is around. I mean, of course, it's not fair when you get, unfortunately, team killed. I must say, though, with this position here, a 2 life deficit, but still, though, a lot slower on A here for the Dust Devils. And a player disconnected.
Well,
that is.
I was about to say, he was disconnecting a while ago in the start of the round, so we
might
have
have
a
reset.
I missed that? Yeah, no, it was pretty subtle. He like went to the point and then just like kind of hid in the corner crying, and then he just died and then disconnected. So tough stage for Bimpy, and yeah, I mean, you can just see not going to go well for them. To be honest, I don't know if they're going to reset or bother with it. I mean, they're more than in their rights to do so. But this is pretty much done and dusted for the side of Dust Devils, and a very anticlimactic series to end off the day. But that's how it goes sometimes, you know. Dust Devils, I hope they take this in stride. Hope they improve, and I'm excited to see how they develop over the season regardless. Some of these teams you might see at the start will not be in the same position, in the same spots towards the end. This is a team that could definitely improve and could definitely get more consistent going forward.
Absolutely, and not to take away from their emphatic performance. I mean, in terms of Rangers and where they're placing themselves in the ladder, they get themselves into the win column early on. They join some wonderful company throughout the day, and I really must sort of elaborate in terms of what we saw today. Newbury looked fantastic, and in terms of, you know, where we sort of placed the entire sort of conference on the west side, I mean, listen, we have 2 teams that played today, 2 teams now in the win column, but I mean, just a really unfortunate finish again for the Dust Devils. A play disconnected right at the end, and in terms of sort of the opening break-off again, it was around 16 lives apiece for what we could only really describe as a very close third round, but we can sort of see little, like, embers of genius from the Rangers and just how they anticipated the play. But ultimately, again, the utility usage is just fantastic. I mean, in terms of what Watchester, I can't say it. It is 5 in the morning. Please do forgive me.
Don't stress about it.
And how they're a team, again, that don't really rely so much on utility early on, but just a pure skill of their players. I mean, Zep, again's a player that we saw from the last series that just relied solely on gun skill and positioning, and it can get the job done. We see teams more like the Rangers who really love spamming the nades and making sure, again, that they can block off certain areas, create a funnel, and then have their guns up ready for the gunfights.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Everyone's going to have their strengths and weaknesses, and that will develop naturally throughout this entire season and format. So, yeah, look, keep your eye out for these teams because I'm sure that they will be much, much better by the end of the season and as the season continues. And I mean, that's the joy of one, casting, but also being a viewer where you regularly watch these matches. And I think that is the most enjoyable thing, at least from my experience, right? You see players that weren't at the top slowly climb their way into that bracket, and it's just super cool. So regardless, that's going to be it from us today, I believe, unless I'm getting told to wait. So they could have a reset here on the round 3, which would make sense. I mean, you would expect it in normal circumstances. So can't really take them too much, and I think it is a reset, so apologies on my end. We're gonna get back into it with a round 3 reset, so it'll be 2-0 up to Rangers, and they should have defense as well going into it, so we'll see. They're gonna try and give it another crack. I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for Dust Devils. Hopefully they can do something here, at least give a little bit of pride when it comes to this matchup, because honestly, we saw the potential that they have, at least in that hardpoint. Like, it's not a matter of necessarily just gun skill, right? Sure, they're getting outgunned in the search and destroy and control for parts of it, but I mean, we saw Underscore going on a 9 streak, right? Like, you would never see a team go against any CDL team, right? That's not in the CDL and do that unless you're at that level, right? gotta have some sort of skill where you're matching them to do something like that. So the skill is there, the potential is there, and I would like to see them, show up a little bit here. But of course, it's one series, right? It's the start of the season. You can't really expect too much. It's all learning experience. So it should be a reset here shortly. But I gotta say, an overlook on the series so far as well from Rangers. They've just been playing super consistently and just really well, right? It's just fundamental. It's exact. It's nothing crazy like unorthodox or anything like that. Like they have a strat, they stick to it. They know what they're doing on the game modes. It's not just random moves where you're just kind of playing on autopilot. The team has a lot of backing behind them. So it's a tough matchup for Dustdevils, all things considered, going into this.
I don't think there is any real room to see Rangers at least perform better than they already have done so far. What I am interested to see, particularly with what can we expect from at least Rangers from this series now in the reset, is the break-off maybe. I mean, in terms of like how they sort of approach the rounds and how they sort of look to progress and look to see potentially into how the structure of their team is. I mean, in terms of what the Dustdevils did, I mean, their attacks from the round one were quite exceptional. They converted A quite quickly. The B, though, again, needs to explore that a little bit more. Watch the Vault back and get some variety, because I think most attacking teams that do well, particularly on Vault, is at least 2 players inside the point. Cars already exploded, trophies everywhere. It just has to be that kind of reassurance, again, with a really strong AR that can lurk around the outside and catch players outside of art and outside of statue, and potentially even one player again in middle, just having the cut off ready for any potential flanks. That's just where the systems are most successful.
Yeah, and we'll see how they apply that here as well on the reset. It's giving them some time to feel good and to get in that zone. So I'm not sure if I think we got called for a break, or I missed what we said, but we're loading in. Okay, never mind. I'm trolling.
Fantastic,
Sorry,
fantastic.
I don't even do my job well. Like, honestly, how do they let me in on this stuff? Should make a petition to get me removed, to be honest. But regardless, we're getting into map 3 reset. Control. If you're just joining us, Rangers up 2-0. Not only in the series, but also in the control, and they also have defense. They won the attacking round, so tough scenes for Dustdevils. But after a reset, let's see how they feel.
Well, again, it's a very aggressive entry to mid from the Dustdevils, and they try to aggress beyond the midway point here. They want to make sure, again, they're in spawn, or at least trying to create awkward flanks here as a team. That's where I think Rangers have put them to the post in quite a good fashion. They opens with 2, and there's a player looking from the south side. Lotus gets eliminated, and immediately all their pressure from the extremities is gone. It's an immediate setup right now from the Rangers. They are employing a spawn trap straight away. And what more can we add to this? I mean, in terms of the opening, again, it's delayed the progression towards A. They ideally should be looking to deplete this point, but I think the pressure early on and the life count is where we see TDM style control in full effect.
It's getting caught off a little bit there. Only a 3 life differential here for these two teams as Rangers try and clean up the players towards the A zone. Only 1 tick accrued there. And you're doing pretty well so far if you're Dustdevils, at least trying to make some sort of standing here in this A zone attack. Just very awkward. You're getting pretty staggered, but once again, Underscore, with the help of his subs, come in and at least get them onto that A zone. So we could be seeing more time add to the clock. Lives now evening up, and Dustdevils at least have a fighting chance in this back half of the attacking round.
It's a fantastic re-clear from Dustdevils, and now we start to see where the adjustments are going to be placed from the Rangers. They want to go on the outside here and make sure, again, that they have an early B setup. They can sacrifice A. Given the life count only being 1, I think there's more opportunity here now for Dustdevils to make a creative play to send 2 players on a deep flank. Artsy, though, has caught 1 off. Now, as this is a distraction from the front side, neither player is actually moving from the Dustdevils. Another one's respawned close by on the top northeast side of the map. And this is a really nice opening. Given the spawn positions, I mean, this is just strange, but in a really fascinating way, because what are Rangers doing in this position? Eliminating pressure again. I think Dustdevils being a bit too static, given the privilege and the rotating lurk players. They can do so much here, and they finally found an opening and finally found good positioning, but the life count again is dwindling away, and this is where B needs to be at least more focused, and they should start throwing some utility.
I think also don't be afraid to go for some kills here. Like, just play the kills. You know that it's going to be difficult to get on this B zone, right? And you know that the rest of these Rangers players are all pushed up and trying to make routes. honestly just aim up and try and make a play. And you see ISO as well with the sub coming towards the backline. They must have spotted him because he was hard aiming that, but he gets away with it. Now Stewie has to drop that position. You can see the opening on B start to flourish, and it is very, very difficult now for Rangers to try and re-engage. They have to come off the spawn and get these kills, and unfortunately they will do so pretty easily. But I like the attempt from Dustdevils, right? I like the execution. Fortunately, it doesn't quite go their way. Kill feed turns white. 27 seconds left of this series potentially for Dustdevils. They need to make one final kick, one final stand, and it's not looking too likely, Connie.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, Nate's only firing extra bullets into the body to showcase what has been a dominant showing so far from the Rangers. The contest in itself closed a long time ago. We've already seen some stars break out in this series, and it is just one player left alive. Lotus sees them all dancing around the map, having a wonderful time. But the Dustdevils, unfortunately, cannot find the finish they were looking for. It's the Rangers instead who take the victory, and they get themselves in the win column. They join Newbury, they join Watachia, and it's the three teams themselves that get in the win column in the first week here of the West Conferences and the Southeast.
Well, good news is for Dustdevils, plenty of matches to play, plenty of time in the season. So it's not all doom and gloom for them. Unfortunate series. You know, it doesn't always go your way, but I mean, a great performance out of Rangers. Just looking super solid, super consistent, very well polished, and I mean, I gotta say, gotta give it to them. You know, they're a scary team. They're looking good. They're looking solid going forward, right? And this team is only going to get better. It's only going to improve. You know, so I'll be interested to see both of these teams going forward, to be honest with you. But regardless, I think that there's not a crazy amount to say about that. I think Rangers just, you know, looking more solid, looking more prepared, a little bit more experienced potentially as well. So of course the series, you know, it's going to be tough for Dustdevils.
I don't think there's any real room to really improve, but at the same time as well, the map pool is so important this early on in the season. You have to make sure you're playing even your worst maps just to get a real understanding of how to improve, because although it's a dominant 3-0 win, it's never really a good sign this early on, particularly when we're feeling out the teams from a perspective of improving throughout the season. I mean, at this point, again, if they suddenly become really terrible at Vault, the Rangers, where's then the adjustment? Because they're getting rid of Protocol in the veto list. I do hope as well in the next week we do get to see a little more variety, and if they 3-0 again on those maps, then yeah, we start to really consider them as one of the top teams. But so far, again, an emphatic win, pretty much dominant from the start. Stewie is a fantastic AR with a lot of promise. We just need to see again how he can develop his play style, learn to play a bit slower, and really bring home a really well-rounded game here for the Rangers.
Well, guys, that's been it from us. Connie's put in an absolute shift today. 3 matches straight, 3 series back to back to back, and also in the AM. So round of applause for Connie, and it's been a wonderful cast. You know, it's been great. It's always fun casting with you. It's fun watching. It's fun being part of College COD. I'm happy to be here. Glad you all joined us. Love you all in chat. But that's it. So we're going to send you guys off, and we'll be back with some more CCL later next week, I believe. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back next week.